You're watching Two Button Crew.
Your daily Nintendo fandom.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Simeon.
You looking tall, Simeon. Did you get sternum extensions?
Yeah, I did.
Implants? Good.
No, I'm just not hunching over as much. I'm always hunching.
Well,
now I'm gonna try and be as tall as you are.
Yeah.
If you didn't know this, when we're standing up, Scott and I are like about equal in height. But my height is in my legs, and yours is in your torso, so I just look shorter.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be dealing with the aftermath of E3 for a little while, and one of the interesting things to come out of that, and things like this will continue to, because stuff is like translated from Japanese for the next couple of weeks, you know?
Yeah.
Although Reggie speaks English. Reggie says VR needs to hit mainstream before Nintendo adopts it.
Yeah. So, we saw other things at E3. We saw the Vive and the Oculus Rift. Did we see? I think we
PSVR.
PSVR.
A lot of their press conference, Sony's, was VR games.
Oh yeah.
So this statement reminded me exactly of something that happened back in the Wii days, like when Wii was coming out. So I was having flashbacks about HD. That people were asking Nintendo, "Come on, is the Wii going to be HD?" And they said, HD televisions aren't common enough for us to adopt that. So they put out the Wii in standard definition, and I think it hurt their core gamer market share with that move. Probably quite a bit, because the whole hype about Xbox and 360 and PS3 is that they're HD, you know?
Yeah.
But I think if they had done HD and made the console more expensive, there might not have been the big Wii boom in the public that there was.
Right.
So they might have made a good choice on that, but I'm wondering, in this instance, is Nintendo like missing out on all the VR hype, and are Nintendo fans going to be missing out on VR because NX is not VR based on this comment?
Yeah, I don't think it's a very Nintendo thing to do, because I mean,
to do what? To adopt it?
To not adopt it. Because I think usually we expect Nintendo to be the first to do something, or to think up something. Well, I mean, I guess we had the Virtual Boy, but usually we think of Nintendo as the innovators, or they want to get in really, really soon.
I gotcha.
But I think, even though it's not a Nintendo thing to do, I think it's a smart thing to do, because everybody's throwing their eggs into that basket. And Nintendo's like, everybody else is doing this. Let's sit back. Let's watch. Let's see what might happen, because virtual reality it's getting more complex, and it's being used more and more for more applications. I was at a concert when I was on vacation, and they had a booth there where it was like a charity organization or something, where you could like walk into the booth, put a VR headset on, and experience what it was like in a third world country.
No way.
Yeah. So like VR it's out there. It's being used more and more, but it's still not mainstream yet. As far as video games, they haven't released any real virtual reality systems yet to the public. So it's not a tested market yet.
Also, no matter how many rumors surround each and every new Nintendo console that it's going to be the biggest, most powerful thing, it's going to support 4K, it's going to support VR and all this stuff, I'm not going to believe it until I see Nintendo actually do that, because from historically, they like to be affordable. Yeah. So that's going to happen again, even if you guys don't like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Until they prove us wrong and it works out for them, I'm going to stick to what I know about them.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some headsets that are going to be on the market. There's the Oculus Rift. Started as a Kickstarter, but then Facebook bought it. Yep. And to me, that says that social media is going to be VR in the future. Yep. And that means like people's walls or timelines are going to be like rooms with posters of things that they like, with photo books that you flip through, with a CD player you can turn on, listen to the kind of music that they like, you know, conversing with people face to face that you're far away from and stuff. So that was a smart move from Facebook to purchase it, although they're not super gamery.
No, that's true.
The Oculus Rift requires a high-spec PC, something like $1,000 PC.
Yeah.
The HTC Vive, it's similar to the Rift, but it also takes into account your room. So you put like cameras up in the corners, and then it knows where you are, and you've got sensors on your hands. So there's a lot more like spatial interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most expensive one. The PlayStation VR here is where I think Nintendo's going to get into some serious competition.
Yeah.
Because this launches this October, so just in time for holidays, a little bit early even. Mm-hmm. It's $400. It uses the PS4, so you don't need an additional PC.
Right.
It uses the controllers you already have with your PS4. You might need the camera, but a lot of people already have their camera. PS4 users have their PlayStation Eyes, I think they're called, for like streaming and stuff. They can do that. So a lot of this equipment people already have. And it's an accessory for an existing thing that people bought a few years ago. Like they've had their PS4 for a few years, so it doesn't really seem like the hardest sell to fork out another $400 for your console that lasts 7 to 10 years. You know, so
that's some pretty good stuff, because, like you said, the Rift is requiring a high-end PC that most people probably don't have, and most people probably aren't going to buy just so that they can use the Rift. I mean, you
gotta be pretty serious.
Yeah, you gotta be a pretty serious gamer to. You probably, if you are gonna get the Rift, you probably already have a PC that's like this. You're not going to go out and say, "Oh, the Rift's coming out. I'm going to lay down the money for it."
Yeah.
And same with the Vive, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But the PlayStation VR, that's a bargain. I mean, $400, it's not even a console, and I'm saying that it's a bargain. Yeah. That's because this is the new thing. This is the new, brand new, spanking new thing.
Right.
And I
saw at our local gaming store when I took a ride there, press start to play, that the PlayStation Move controllers were only $7, whereas like a nunchuck extension was being sold for $7 and the Wii Remote was still like $20. So people can get these accessories used pretty cheap. I think PSVR is probably going to be pretty big.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
It might be like the talk of the holiday, and Nintendo kind of skipped the holiday.
Yeah, they're going to miss out on that
with NX. So as a Nintendo fan, do you feel sad that you might not get VR except for when you go to third world concerts?
Third world concerts. Is that a new thing? I'm not really sad, because I've seen VR as something that I want to try. I want to play for a day. I want to play maybe occasionally, but it's not something that I want to do, because to me, it's like the Kinect. I wanted to play the Kinect, and then novelty wears off, and I want the controller back in my hand. I want to sit down with the controller. The Wii was really cool, and the motion controls are really cool, and they're fun to whip out every once in a while. But the Wii games I fall back on are the ones that have me sitting in my chair with the controller and not doing as little of this as possible.
I gotcha.
I'm a gamer through and through. Sit me down on the couch with the controller, and maybe I'll try out VR for a little bit, but that's not where I think gaming as a whole is headed. I know that we're going to see that, and it's going to be a big thing. It'll probably be even bigger than the motion control thing, but we're never going to get rid of sitting on the couch with that controller.
I agree with Nintendo that VR is pretty young right now. It's young, it's expensive, it's for the early adopters, and it still has a lot of kinks to iron out. For example, I heard about this African-American guy using a VR headset, and you can like look down and you see a body when you've got the headset on, but it's not, it's a pre-made one, and he's like, "That's not my body."
Was it like a white guy's body?
That must have been very disorienting to look down and see yourself be white.
They should have done like a wireframe body or something.
Just completely gloved.
Bad. Yeah.
Just wearing a big VR glove. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to share with your friends the gift of the crew.
Sit up, Simeon.
Share the gift of virtual reality with us. Maybe someday we'll be in virtual reality and they'll be able to see.
Oh, you think like this would be live and then we've just got a virtual audience sitting around us?
They can.
I like that.
Yeah, see us in 3D.
All right.
Be with us.
Well, until then, we'll see you next time.
Signing out.